everyone, it's Michelle Caruana, owner of Climbing Vines Cafe and Play and creator of Play Cafe Academy. And in today's video, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So if you are a customer of Climbing Vines, this video should be a little bit familiar to you because I am going to go through the frequently asked questions that we get at our indoor playground facility. And if you are a prospective indoor playground owner, or if you already own an indoor playground business, this should hopefully give you some great ideas for things to include on your own FAQ page, or should give you some inspiration on ways to deal with these types of questions when they come your way. So the first frequently asked question that we get is, what are our open play hours? So we're always sure to keep these visibly posted, not only on our door, but also when people call, we have a voice recording that lists our hours. We also have them on all of our social media and on our website, and we do communicate to customers that we change them occasionally seasonally. So we are always adjusting our open play hours based on demand. So sometimes we'll open one evening a week, sometimes we'll open a couple evenings per week, sometimes we'll have extended weekend hours. It really depends on the season and what demand is looking like. So we just set the expectation that our hours occasionally change so that our customers know to check the hours before they visit, because again, I always feel like setting the expectation that our hours are not necessarily always consistent is a good way to go, because the last thing that we want to do is have a customer go to visit us and have us be closed when they expect us to be open. So my biggest advice here is to make sure you communicate very effectively. We utilize email, we utilize social media, we utilize our website to make sure that people know not only what our open play hours are at the current moment, but also what they could be potentially seasonally, and that they do change. The second most commonly asked question that we get is, how much does it cost to play in our facility? So currently our open play price is $8 plus tax, so it comes out to around $8.50, and we start charging beginning at 6 months of age, which I'll get to in a second. The third most frequently asked question that we get is, I have multiple children, do I have to pay the same rate for all of them? And my answer is, if you're just coming for the day, then yes, our open play pass is the same for all 3 of your children. Say you have 3 children, just hypothetically. But if you buy a package of passes, we reward those loyal customers by offering them a discount for every child they have above that first child. So if they have a sibling, they enjoy a discount for that sibling, and if they have multiple children, 3, 4, 5 children, they enjoy a greater discount for each child. So we like to make our facility really accessible to larger families and families with multiple children. But again, the caveat is that we don't do that pricing for our single day passes, we only do it for our package of passes. And we used to do a discount for our single day passes for siblings, and we actually were finding that a lot of people were abusing it, and a lot of people were saying that family friends or friends' children were siblings just to get the discount, and we were having a lot of problems with that, which I didn't really expect. So now we only allow it for packages of passes, because we do require a photo ID every time somebody brings in a package of passes to make sure that they're not being shared. So the next frequently asked question that we get is, I like the idea of the parents' lounge, but what if I want to use a play area with my child? So a lot of people have the question of, is it really just drop your child off and you kind of sit on the other side, or can parents interact with their children? And my answer to that is always that we really encourage parents to play with their child while they're here. If they're an older child, maybe 3, 4, 5, or 6, then we definitely understand that parents need to take a few minutes and just let the child play, make new friends, things like that. But if it's a younger child or a child that really just wants to interact with the parent, we absolutely encourage parents interacting with their children inside the play area, and it is absolutely okay as long as the adult has socks on. So even though we have the convenience of a parents' lounge and a cafe, we make sure parents know that they are encouraged and definitely allowed to play with their child. Because again, the idea of the facility is to encourage family time and family bonding. So we definitely want to make sure parents feel comfortable inside the play area with their child. All right, so the next question is, at what age do you start charging children to play? And this is a tricky one, and we do get a lot of pushback on this, but we've stood pretty firm and I don't regret it. So our main philosophy is that if you're playing, you're paying. So if a child is 6 months old, but they're the only child and they're using the facility, they're in the baby area, they're crawling around, they're having a good time, then we will charge them to play. Because if we didn't charge them to play, then they're clearly not getting any benefit from the facility, and they could just kind of go to a Starbucks. So if a parent is coming here with their 6-month-old child over like a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or anything like that, they're clearly getting some benefit from our facility, so we're going to have to charge them for it. So if you're playing, you're paying. So again, we start charging at 6 months. The exception is if that infant comes with an older child. So for example, if a parent comes in and they have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old, we don't charge that infant until they are a year old. So it's free under 1 with a paid sibling. And we've seen that be really successful, because a lot of times we understand, especially because we have the 18-month and under area separated from the 18-month and older area. So a lot of times if someone is here with a 2 or a 3-year-old and an infant, we have definitely seen that the infant doesn't really even get to play and they kind of hang out with the caregiver. So we don't start charging until a year with a paid sibling. All right, so the next question is, I have a child that's older than 6, can they come too? And our answer is, of course. If they're with a sibling and they're just kind of hanging out with the caregiver, or they're just assisting the children, the younger child in playing, then we absolutely allow them in our facility and we do not charge them. The one caveat is that we don't allow them on any of our play equipment, so they can't go on any of the slides, they can't climb on any of the equipment, but they are allowed to assist the younger child in playing, and they are allowed to hang out with a caregiver for free. We don't charge them. So again, it goes along with the if you're playing, you're paying philosophy. All right, so the next question is, will kids or parents have to take off their shoes? And the answer is definitely yes. We are a socks-only facility, so no shoes, no bare feet. So that is because we are in upstate New York, so for a good portion of the year it snows, it rains, it's kind of yucky, so we don't want that dirt and grime and germs tracked into our carpeted play area. And the reason that our play area is carpeted is because we do cater to children mainly who are 4 and under, are typically 5 and under. So they're crawling, they are picking stuff up off the floor, and we don't necessarily want all of those outside germs in our play area. So a lot of play areas that cater mainly to older children will allow shoes, but because we cater to the little guys and the younger population, we really feel passionately about being a socks-only facility, and it really helps us remain clean, and it helps us serve our customers in the best way possible. So we do require children and adults wear socks, so no shoes, no bare feet. For people that have maybe orthopedic shoes or who can't remove their shoes, we do have shoe covers available for you. So if you are an indoor playground owner or a prospective indoor playground owner, I do always recommend having an alternative, because not everybody can or will remove their shoes. It's good to have the shoe covers as an alternative, and people really appreciate that. All right, so the next question that we get frequently is, can we bring in our own snacks or food? And yes, we do allow people to bring in snacks and food, and the reason behind that is we do not have a full kitchen. We do not prepare any hot food. We have some snacks and convenience items available for purchase, but we do not have a full kitchen. We don't serve lunch, so we allow people to order in food, and we also allow people to bring in snacks. And while we are not a nut-free facility, we do gently ask people that they not bring in anything with nuts, so that people with allergies are safe. And we do double check when they come in. All right, so the next question is the play pass good for the day? So the answer to that is yes. So once you purchase a play pass, we don't charge hourly, we don't cut off time limits or anything like that. We just find it a lot more simple to charge for the day, and a day pass also includes re-entry, so people can actually leave and come back. And again, because we serve that younger population, we find that parents really appreciate that they can leave and come back, because younger children, especially infants and toddlers, can only play in shorter intervals and they might need to nap. So a lot of people will come early in the morning and then again after nap time. So we are sure to communicate that every single time someone comes in our facility. All right, so the next question is, my child has allergies and or food sensitivities. What will you have for us? And my answer to that is that we try to have an allergy-friendly menu. We actually have an allergen a code on our menu so that people can understand what is dairy-free, what is not free, what is gluten-free, all of that good stuff we have right on our menu. And we also say that if you have any severe allergies, to please contact us in advance so that we can make proper arrangements and we can sanitize accordingly. So again, although we are not a nut-free facility, we do accommodate families with nut allergies if they let us know ahead of time. All right, so the next question is, I'm breastfeeding, will you have accommodations for me? And my answer to that is, as a mom who breastfed for over 4 years, we encourage people to feed wherever they feel comfortable. So we don't mind if a mom feeds uncovered. We don't mind a person breastfeeding wherever in the facility they choose. However, we do let people know that if they want more privacy or if they'd like to have a private place to pump or anything like that, we do make our office available. So we just let them know to tap a worker or a supervisor on the shoulder and to let us know that they need some more private accommodations or they would prefer some more private accommodations. But we do, of course, allow and encourage breastfeeding wherever they feel comfortable. And we do have a lot of seats with armrests. I know that's really important for breastfeeding moms. And we do have a mini fridge where people can store milk whenever they need to. All right, the next question is, can my friends use my membership card or can I give mine to a friend to use? And the answer is no. So our memberships are only allowed to be used in an intermediate family. So the pass is specific to the child, not the adult. So say I have two sons and their names are Ben and Silas. So if I were to take them, that would be absolutely fine. If my husband were to bring them to the facility, that's absolutely fine. If their grandparent, their aunt, their uncle, as long as they were bringing Ben and Silas, that was absolutely fine. But if I were to bring 2 other children, say I was babysitting, I would not be able to use that pass. So again, our passes are specific to the child, not the caregiver. So that has worked really well for us. And again, we do require a photo ID upon entry, and we, again, make sure that the passes aren't being used too much in between people because, again, that can get messy, and we make sure to enforce that really strictly so that people don't get the wrong idea. All right, the next question is, do you accept cash and credit cards? And the answer is yes. We don't accept bills over 20 because we are a small business and we don't have a ton of cash on site at any given time. So we accept up to $20 bills, and we do accept all credit cards, including American Express. We do not accept personal checks just because, again, we're providing a service at the time they come in, and if that check bounces, then we're kind of out of luck. So we don't accept checks. We do accept cash and all major credit cards, which I feel like people really appreciate, especially American Express users. All right, so a couple more questions. So the next question is, can I have my child's birthday party during normal business hours at the cafe without going through the party booking process? And the answer is no. We used to be a little bit more flexible on this rule, but we have actually found that having a party, even a very, very small one, even only a couple children, really disrupts the process for all of our other customers. So for example, if 10 families are here for open play and one person has a birthday party, if they're bringing in presents and cupcakes, it's really confusing to the other families and especially the other young children that they can't participate in whatever's happening at that particular table. And it just makes it, it just puts a sour taste in the mouth of all of the other customers there that day. So we require a private booking for all birthday parties. We do have one exception where we actually have a birthday guest for the day, and what we'll do is instead of allowing them to have a cake and presents and a birthday party, is we'll actually put their name on the TV and we'll provide a small gift and a balloon for them. So that's kind of our middle ground, but we do not allow any sort of parties, any sort of dessert, any sort of present opening because we are such a small facility and we don't have any additional rooms. So again, it's very disruptive to the other families and they're paying full price, and we just don't want to make them feel alienated or uncomfortable in any way. So again, we don't allow birthday parties outside of birthday party hours. We do get some pushback on this, but we've really found that being firm on this is best for all involved. All right, so the second to last question is, does your facility enforce a play area capacity? And the answer is yes. So technically our entire building facility, which is mandated by the health code, is 84 persons, including staff. However, because of the way our area is divided with a 3-foot wall, we only allow 20 children to play inside of our play area at one time. So it's a little bit tricky because, again, it's hard to enforce, it's hard to count. We have to do this at the door. But it's also a little bit different because if 20 babies are playing, it's gonna feel a lot different in the play area than if 25-year-olds were playing. So we kind of say 20 is our number, but we really play it by ear. And we just try to make sure that if we're allowing one more person into the play area, that it's not diminishing the experience of all of the other people in there. So very frequently we will get on a wait and we'll have a family wait and color and have some snacks before they enter the facility. So how we typically do it is when one family leaves, another family is allowed to enter. So we have a wait list and we allow the family to enter again as somebody leaves, and that typically works very well and it keeps wait times very minimal. Again, because we do have the reentry policy, so people only really stay at one time for about an hour or 2 hours. So typically if somebody has to wait, it's only for a few minutes, but we do absolutely enforce a play area capacity. All right, so the very last question is, can you pay for classes or events at the door? And the answer to this is that all of our classes do require online registration. The one caveat is that if a class does have extra room and we do have extra supplies, we will occasionally allow people to pay at the door, but we do not encourage it, and we do only allow it on a case-by-case basis. So we do encourage people to book online in advance just to be sure that not only do they have a spot, but they have adequate supplies and that we are adequately prepared. We want to make sure that we are staffed accordingly and that every single person that walks through the door has an absolutely amazing experience at that class or event. So that's the reason that we require online registration in advance. So those are the frequently asked questions for our facility, and if you are interested in learning more or reading a little bit more about these, you can go to climbingvinescafe.com/FAQ and they are all there. But again, I hope you found this useful, whether you are an indoor playground owner or whether you are just a customer of Climbing Vines and tuning in today. Thank you so much. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I put out a new video every single week, so thanks for hanging out with me, guys.